The Tuff Golem is the only mob you should vote for in the 2022 mob vote. Wait, before you leave. Hear me out before you leave, please. Just hang on a second. Okay. Now, reason number one. The cutest. Now, this is a purely opinionated argument, but I believe the Tuff Golem is the cutest of the three. Number two, those voting the Rascal, stop. There is no reason that it is going to win. It is basically useless past the mid game, and you're only going to interact with it a little bit, and it's also less cute than the other two. So let's just say, boom, this is the Sniffler. We're going to just ignore the Rascal because it's very obviously the worst of the three, and all it gives you is, man, it's all based on the loot pool of the Rascal, which is very, very uncertain. So let's say we have the Sniffler. Not Sniffler. The Sniffer. The Sniffer. A. It's kind of a dumb name. Not gonna lie, I kind of hated it when it first came out. Still kind of hate it now. It is kind of a dumb name. But the Sniffer. This is the Sniffer. This is the Tuff Golem. So let's see. I'm gonna put some JPEGs right there. There we go. Sniffer, Tuff Golem. And as you can see, this one is cuter. This one is much cuter. This is obvious. This should be obvious to everyone. Let's just ignore the Rascal because the Rascal is barely useful. And let's talk about what you get comparing the Tuff Golem to the Sniffer. The Tuff Golem can be useful for redstone applications. If you drop an item here, boom. It will want to move to this item directly, and you can have it walk over this pressure plate, boom. Additionally, it can be useful for grabbing player items. So let's say that you have a hallway in your base where it's like a medieval base and you have a bunch of Tuff Golems on top of these pedestals. You have a trap between these Tuff Golems. It kills the player trying to invade your base. Instead of letting those items despawn, these Tuff Golems, depending on how many there are, will go and pick up some of the items from that player. Now, you may get lucky, you may not. You may get some of their armor, some of their tools. That would be great. And it all depends on how many Tuff Golems you have. Or, the second reason you should vote for the Tuff Golem. The second reason you should vote for the Tuff Golem is the idea that if I get what I want out of the Tuff Golem, if a Tuff Golem with an item stands over top of a hopper, it would act just like a half block, and the item would go through. Just like a half block, see? And that's what I want out of the Tuff Golem. So, it is the cutest, and it can be used for many redstone applications if we get Mojang to listen to what we want. We can't just sit back and let them decide on any of the characters what we want. We need to get the Tuff Golem and tell them what we want with it. The Sniffer, let's think about it, really. So we have the Sniffer. You found a Sniffer egg. Boom. Wow, it's an egg. The egg hatches. Boom, it's a Sniffer. Oh, look, it goes over here. It finds a plant seed. Wow, look at that. It's a seed. The Sniffer is now useless. Depending on how many... Okay, let's say there's 3 different types of seeds. Sniffer goes over. Boom, finds more seeds. Now the Sniffer goes over here, and it finds the 3rd set of seeds. Once that happens, the Sniffer is now useless to you. You will never interact with it again. After you get these seeds, it is just an accessory. It is aesthetic. That is all it is. This, no matter how cute it is, becomes useless. Once you have these seeds, you can get, let's say, you get up to 3 different types of plants. They're plants. You either eat them, or they're aesthetic. They are completely aesthetic. There is no functional value of any of those. And believe me, I'm not saying that I wouldn't want more types of plants. I am a builder. I love types of plants. But I simply have to weigh out the idea that the Tuff Golem can simply be way more useful in more applications. It can be used for redstone, as we've shown. You can have, say you had an idea where you had to have a person choose what thing to drop an item down, and depending on where the Tuff Golem walked to pick it up, or whatever, they would have time to escape an area based on which one they choose and how far away the Tuff Golem was. So if I dropped it down this one, The Tuff Golem's here, I die immediately. If I drop it down this one, the Tuff Golem's over here, I have about 5 seconds or so. If I drop it in this one, the Tuff Golem's here, barely inside of the recognizing radius. I have maybe 10 or 20 seconds to get it. So that's just one idea, and you could just, if you just use your imagination, you could turn this into many different ideas. The Tuff Golem also is something that so many Minecraft modders have been wanting for such a long period of time. It is a built-in display stand. You can display any item you want with them. You can display whatever the heck you want. And it would be like this. I have invisible item frames on, but imagine that they're floating. I would also like to point out a piece of information that I got from CubFan, and that meant I didn't have to do the math myself, and is the fact that since there is the Tuff Golem, correct, and there are 16 different types of wool. So let's say this is a blue wool Tuff Golem. You can have 15 other variants of this Tuff Golem, but each Tuff Golem can hold, presumably, every item in the creative menu. So if I go here, all of these items can be held by Tuff Golems. Every single one. And according to him, there are 1,050 different items in Minecraft. Items, regular items, and blocks. And multiply that by 16 colors of Tuff Golem, there are 16,800 unique Tuff Golems. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. You know what? I'm not going to do that. But you get the idea. The Tuff Golems are cute, customizable, way more useful than either of the two other mobs. And literally everyone has been asking for a new type of golem for probably years at this point. You gave up the copper golem. That I get. It's not all that functional. But the Tuff Golem is very, very useful. Players have wanted in-game pedestals to hold their items, to display their items for years. They've wanted a new, useful golem for years. We are presented with the opportunity to get both of those things in one package. And if you give it up, just know it's on you. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and vote the Tuff Golem for the 2022 Mob Vote. See ya.